So this is the series we've been waiting for. This is the series that everyone was like, wait, that's happening? Yes. In the top right-hand side, our red Terran player is Maru. Up against the blue Zerg on the bottom left-hand side, we have got Dark. And of course, it wouldn't be a Maru TvZ if we didn't start off with a couple of SCVs coming across the map to build up a couple of proxies. And look why he's going to proxy. This is way out over the left-hand side as Maru sets up here. A quick introduction, as this one probably going to go up on the YouTube channel. Hello, YouTube. Like and subscribe. A quick introduction. This is a play-in match, basically. So Maru and Dark both lost in the round of 8 of the GSL. And so they play this best of 5 series to determine if they get top 6, because the top 6 of GSL get invited to the ESL Pro Tour DreamHack Summer Masters Season Finals. So the winner of this best of 5 goes to that Season Finals. Unfortunately, it has to be between Maru and Dark. We obviously kind of felt like, I think everybody kind of felt a bit robbed of Maru Dark when neither of them won their matches in the round of 8. That was something that I think a lot of people expected to be a semi-finals, a big rematch. And unfortunately, we never got it, but hey, we get it here today, and I'm fortunate enough to be one of the lucky guys that gets to cast it. 2 racks over the left-hand side, and the first Marines are already in production here. So, obviously, Dark missed that scout. I just showed you that vision of the Overlord. It did turn away just before being seen, and Maru's distance, you know, how far away he's built these racks has absolutely paid off for him up over the left-hand side. There's the first couple of SCVs, and Marines moving forward. This Overlord here is going to wiggle its little tendrily things and be like, oh my god, there's SCVs! But this is really bad, of course. You have no idea about it until so late. The drones have to pull in high numbers to make sure you can deny this bunker. Once a bunker goes up, it just trades so well. And with the 2 racks, you're transitioning so quickly after this. But the drones are going to get us around. Maru let them kind of go around the side. He's still going to lose 3 workers to begin, but he gets another surround. And Dark is going to kill both the SCVs, a bunch of the Marines. I mean, the good thing for Maru, this is obviously a lot of lost mining time right now. You know, you can see the income advantage is going to be his, but he's also not had a ton of time to transition or set up into anything extra. Dark is being a little greedy, arguably. Only 2 lings made, but the Queen's now out and should be difficult to get anything more done here. So the income advantage was nice for Maru for a little bit, but it's obviously going to reset a lot now, and Dark is up a base. As Maru builds his factory, CC should be one of the next steps. It was already lined up, actually, and Dark does see this. Just nice confirmation to have, of course. Maru will look as though he's done building Marines. He's actually going to lift the racks. He's going to build 1 more Marine. But for the most part, seems to be done building them. I like this. I mean, this Overlord over here, right? If you get the racks there, you could actually maybe snipe that. That could be a pretty cool play. The Marines are coming around the side. I mean, he kind of roughly knew this Overlord had just pulled to the side or to the high ground before, right? So why would Dark send it even deeper into his own main base? That's not necessarily, well, necessary for a lot of the time, as these feelings are Dark. Gonna go up, and the Maru Marine is gonna be chased. Ling's looking for a surround. The other Marine's coming over. Yeah, in the end, he's just gonna send the racks into the main base for a scout. So my idea of Maru being super smart and sniping this Overlord, I mean, at this point, it wouldn't work anyways, right? The Queens are here, the creep's this far out. If it was maybe a little fast and the creep was still here, maybe you could get it before Queen came in to respond, but not going to be the case, because the first couple of Hellions are going to be out. Of course, Dark did slow down his gas mines, so he does have link speed just now starting. Actually, Rack's not even scouting, actually just went to land and block the 3rd base, which he will do successfully. Look at this delay. Dark was up at 500 minerals there, so he was ready to expand, and he will not have that expansion down, so that's an unfortunate loss, as we are going to see these couple of Queens are going to continue to push this away. Rax will try and get some scouting in the main base, maybe lifted it up a bit too late to realistically see anything, and he will not get any further info as Maru just goes straight into a fusion core in the main. So gets that fusion core started up, as you will see a 3rd CC starting as well. So this is Maru just trying to play a bit of recovery now, definitely down from where he'd like to be. 12-ish workers, and that's, again, ish. 10 to 12 workers is not terrible for Terran, but it should be a bit less than that, right? At this stage especially, I think. Again, if we look at the... I keep pressing the wrong button for income because we're using a different overlay than usual, but look at the income, you can see it's just a bit more in favor of Dark again. This was a big advantage, though, and that's the big reason why this has turned out okay for Maru. Because even though he got surrounded, it was so many of the drones that were forced off the mineral line so quickly It's just a shame he got surrounded because it obviously then could have been so much more with Dark not having known the fact that it was already on the way so early. Now Dark's also pretty blind as to what's up, right? He's got no vision into the main base. He just sees a couple of Hellions. There's nothing he's really like, oh, you're missing that as well, because obviously the setup for Maru is a bit delayed. So you've got to figure out those timings based on the fact that Maru, you know, was 2 racks in here. And that just makes it a little bit tougher to identify, you know, where Maru should be at, and maybe figuring out, oh, why aren't you, you know, why don't you have this already, or why don't you have that? You might start to worry a little bit about the fact there's no, you know, harassment coming, as he does start up a Spire off this faster lair, the Bane Nest for that Bane speed. Still just sees Hellions and Marines. It's not really a tell. It is going to be bio beyond this, though. A couple of extra racks on the way. Stimpak's building. Now, the Spire on the way, so if you teleport here, the BC might have to be fairly careful of when those mutas pop. As the BC goes across into the main, Spore Crawler and 1 Queen. Spore's actually going to relocate as well, so I'd say this is a very successful start for Maru's going to get 3 drones right off the bat. Gets number 4, he'll get number 5, 6, 7. Wardy can count, running out of fingers though, as we're going to be seeing our other couple Queens in the low ground. Will not be doing that much, but Hellions go for a dive, but unfortunately they get surrounded by the Lings pretty quickly. Maybe could have controlled a bit better there. They kind of ran into the Lings more so than anything. 8 workers killed, and this BC will start to back away down the bottom. The biggest concern right now is the Spire. I think BC's going to be okay. I think by the time he has the... By the time the meter's out, I think he's very close to the jump, and I think he's going to be able to jump away. So, as long as he doesn't take any more damage, because I think he might have to tank like a couple of shots, because it should be close. But then again, it's also only going to be 4 Mutalisk. And it's nice to keep this Battlecruiser alive, because that can be a unit which continues to pull Mutas back home, and it pulls attention of Dark back home, rather than just letting Dark kind of run rampant. As we see the couple of Queens from Dark coming across, the BC taking a bunch of damage. It's going to continue being pushed away out down this bottom side. A few Zerglings set up from Dark on the 3rd base, and yeah, jump is ready. So he's actually got plenty of time. Wasn't even as close as I thought it might be. Mutas are on the way, only just now popping. Yeah, so it wasn't even as close as I thought it was. So yeah, BC's fine to get away. Does still need to teleport before the Mutas get there, just in case, right? If you're a split second too late and then you lose it, then that's a bit of a facepalm moment. That's when you're like, oh, did I really just do this? There's the 2 Medivacs now trying to drop down the right, but he sees the Mutas and he kind of dropped into them for a moment, but these Mutas didn't realize the drop was there, so Dark loses a Mutalisk. So already 1 Mutalisk lost for Dark, as they will head up into the natural expansion missile turret. Immediately in position, 1 SCV on the refinery gets picked off. Mutas still hanging around to the right side, the other Marines out down to the bottom, and just seeing the armory still from Maru building up in the main base. Remember, BC put some damage out onto the Mutalisks as well. A few extra Marines showing up, picking off 1 Muta. BC comes across, a bit more damage being done. Melee upgrade still coming into play, plus 1 flyer attack coming through. Baneling speed is going to be done. 8 more Mutalisks on the way out here, as we'll see Maru going to move out to the watchtower. Takes that, gets to see the Mutalisks. An extra set of Banelings already from Dark morphing in. Out down to this bottom side, just in front of the 4th base here. All of our Mutas will continue to gather up together, as he's on the defensive here, Dark. Maru does have 1-1 against the 0-0, so he has that advantage on his side. I mean, that's what Dark pays for basically being ahead on the lair tech, right? On getting a faster Spire, getting more Mutas out earlier, getting that Baneling speed. BC trying to preoccupy Mutas to the left side. It does pull them out of position. It doesn't go down. As you see the Marines able to come through and able to pick off this Extractor already. So an Extractor drops, as the Mutas of Dark will continue away to the upper right. Our Marines are going to continue across as well. As the Medevac's intercepted, though. He loses both the Medevacs with siege tanks inside. Oh my goodness. Wow. I was about to say, oh my god, and I said goodness. I was, oh my godness. He targeted the first one, it didn't die, but then he targeted the second one, and the splash damage killed them both. Wow, that's huge. 2 siege tanks that should have still been up here, and especially when Maru is still building tanks, right? He still wants that, you know, that as his way to solidify. He's going into a reactor on this factory now. Now he starts drilling close. Okay, he actually cancelled the siege tank. No, it finished up. So he's going to go into a Thorn. He's going to go into Widow Mines, but yeah, he should be on 4 siege tanks now, and that would really power up another push from him. Obviously, now that is just lost, as he's also a bit late to 2-2. Obviously, he was way ahead on 1-1. And now 2-2 is starting at the same time as Darks did. So Maru losing a couple of his advantages here. Nice snipe from Dark, though. Getting the 2 medevacs and the 2 siege tanks. That's obviously a massive play. That's obviously a huge, huge part of this. As these mutas try to get the BC, will get it low, but will not get the kill. And these mutas just out the front. Some Marines coming through. I'm going to get a couple of these mutas already as well. And another CC out on the 3rd. Ready to lift up. And he's going to take the high ground 4th base as well. So Maru not afraid to let this play a little bit more slowly, I guess. As our Marines coming through the top. A single Zerglin on the top side. Those mutas at the front. And the Thor gets to the front there as well to try and turn this around. Command Center will go over there. A couple of missile turrets will be setting up. And again, the 2-2 upgrades just going to be finishing soon from Maru. But again, Dark has those, and he's ready to go into the Hive tech as well. This Hive already about halfway done as our mutas try and make their way, but it's just too much anti-air here to deal with this. So this is a little bit tough, guys. This is a bit of a tough scenario, right? As Maru, you kind of on 4 bases, but you don't really have the... You know, you don't really have the momentum to move out or anything, so Dark's taking the map. Now, you know, there's 2 ways you look at it. The one way is like, it's Maru, and should you ever really doubt Maru? Well, no. But then he's playing against Dark, so if this was Maru against most of the Zergs in the world, it'd kind of be like, well, I actually believe Maru has a plan. He's got a way to make this happen. But against Dark, I mean, Dark's really good if you give him a little bit of time and space, and he's been given everything he would really ever want here. As the rest of the Lings are going to move out to the right-hand side. The medevac will go down the right-hand side as well. This is just Maru trying to get some presence on the map, which credit to him. I mean, he got a cancel over here, denies Dark going to 6 base, but then Dark is just going to be taking this hatchery on the right-hand side. So he's got this base coming up. He's got units split everywhere, creep pushing around. The BC comes in over here to try and do something. It will just have to teleport away as he'll actually go for a Banelin or 2, probably the best he can get. Teleports out of there, of course, repairs that up again, and again, just kind of a check to see where those mutas are. Better to have the mutas chasing that BC than elsewhere, as Maru starts up a Ghost Academy, so he's just accepting that it's time to maybe start going into the late game. He runs past this Spore Crawler, past those spines, continuing to chase the drones. Now he'll lift up and head toward the main, but it's a low HP medevac, has to be very careful that nothing gets kind of caught on the way. Mutas are going to get there to deny it. Again, it does pull the mutas very far back, but then it's not like Maru's really doing much else because of that. I mean, he does get to establish a 5th base, I guess, and I guess there's been very little happening to really slow him down while that gets set up. All those depots blowing up. Maru not even supply blocked, has plenty more, and will just re-wall here. As he moves down the right, takes the front position. A few changes from Dark will alert him to the fact that this is base number 5. Now it's setting up. These a few changes like, yeah, blend in, guys, run over here, look like real Marines. He is now just go dive in the 4th, and this was maybe the opening he was looking for, just Maru to be a bit more spread out, a little bit of an option to really get in and deal some damage. He gets a few SCVs again behind all of this. Dark continuing to run by on the right side and teching up into that Ultralisk, so he's going to only have a better army coming eventually. Now these are now essentially just trade outs to start building some Ultras. Maru loses the entire natural mineral line. The 3rd base mineral line not going to look much better. Marines and Marauders trying to split over here. Mutas are overrunning on the 5th base. Maru's in trouble all over the place. 26 SCVs going down. Getting control of this one once again is going to be tough. 31 workers killed. Mutas back into the middle of the map. We see some more Banelings are morphing in from Dark. Underneath and on the edge of that creep spread, there's a few Lings of Dark just burrowed up over to this side on the natural. Mutas are going to make their way over to the right now. I mean, with those Lings there, right, it's just a nice little... At some point, you forget about them, and boom, they show back up. Not even forgot about them, perhaps. Just didn't even know they were there. Even more SCVs going down, and Maru's lost 35 workers. Now, he's stayed maxed out, but the issue is now his economy's hurt, and he's not going to build up a bank like Dark is. Dark already has 4k, and not much gas in the bank, I guess. Only 1k there, but, you know, now you're going to run in here. These Banelings are going to blow up, and he will get the Planetary Fortress. He'll leave with a few of them even alive still. He gets the Planetary on the low ground with the Mutalisks, and now what? You've got this space to replace one. You take an Orbital on the low ground, perhaps? I mean, it's far from ideal, right? An Orbital, you're already having trouble trying to defend it when it was a Planetary Fortress. Never mind now, when it's not going to be able to defend itself. Nice split, and the Banelings going off on the Marauders. The one good thing that's happened for Maru in the last couple minutes as Dark flies in. Natural expansion under heavy fire once more, and that's going to be 7 more SCVs, and counting going down. And there's just no control of these Mutalisks in the main base. They're going to get this missile turret. One missile turret does not stop this amount of mutas. And now Ultra's on the way too. just to make this even more dangerous, as we do see a few lings trying to stop this from becoming a planetary. That is successful. He's going to find SCVs, long-distance mining, so he's going to shut that down. Muta's just coming through. Siege tanks are dropping out across the right side. We've got this big push from Maru, basically the all-in push, because he cannot stay in this game. He's going to lose this orbital. These mutas are going to clean up over here. All Dark has to do is clean up this attack. He's already got Banes, he's got these ultras, and of course he can bring the mutas back as well eventually. For the moment, he'll just continue to fight with the mutas over here, though he will continue to take down base after base. Nah, maybe he just doesn't feel like he even needs the Mutalisk. They're going to go for this command center to just completely confirm that Maru will be all in, but here comes the big fight. Banes go rolling in, the ultras having to lead the charge, and there's just not going to be enough as Dark rolls on through to take the 60-minute game on Eternal Empire as map 1 of this best of 5. Bottom right-hand side, we start with the Blue Zerg who took the first game. This is Dark. Up against the Red Terran. On the upper left-hand side, it's Maru. Now, obviously, that last game was kind of all about Dark from some of the earlier stages, right? I mean, you talk about Dark being, you know, he kind of held the 2 racks, and then the Battlecruiser shows up. I think Maru was in an okay spot. The moment Maru lost those 2 siege tanks, he just never left his base again, right? You know, he had like that push, and actually the push was doing okay. He backed away very smartly, had a good time. He'd forced damage, you know, he'd forced units, and then pulled back. And he lost the 2 siege tanks without trading anything out for them. And at that point, he just like bunkered down at home. Like, he took a 4th base, he got drilling claws, he got widow mines. You know, he switched up to Thors, but he just didn't leave the map. Like, he like made a couple move outs, but Dark just held the map from that point on. If you let the Zerg just have full control, that's the thing, right? It's not just like there was, you know, it's not just like it was like, oh yeah, the Zerg's got creep and he's got base and economy. The Zerg didn't just have that. The Zerg also had, you know, all the position all over Maru's bases. He had a Mutaflock that could contest anywhere on the map. There was just no real competition from Maru. And I think it's just because he had to slow his game down so much, and he never got the chance to really stabilize the 5 bases, and that makes the difference too, right? If you have one good hold and Dark has to slow it down a little bit, even that can be the deal breaker. That can make the difference a lot of the time. As we do have our SCV. Scan across, sees the natural expansion is finishing up, so Maru knows this is a hatchery first. Usually this SCV gets there at the timing to actually see the creep, but in this case, it's a very short map, so actually the SCV arrives a bit sooner. The Reaper gets here just as the Lings pop out. And the Reaper Ling dance will begin as Dark just sneak a drone out to take a 3rd already, so no delay getting that 3rd base ready to go. Obviously no proxy this time, so we get to see what Maru's actual kind of macro opener might be. He's already on double gas, so he will not go 3cc on a short map like this. I would never do that against Dark. You know, it's already a map that kind of invites him to play Roaches, and Dark would absolutely love to do that, I'm sure. So Maru not going to invite it with the 3cc. He will just go double gas. He will have a starport added on, and we'll see what that means for him. Obviously, there's still potential to get aggressive if you want to as well. We've actually seen a lot of Hellbat attacks against these earlier lair plays recently that have been fairly successful. This could be just a Banshee Hellion opener, right? You know, you've got in a position where realistically it's a short map. I was just talking about those Roaches. Banshees could keep you very safe against a lot of those attacks that can come across. Obviously, it's still a great way to set up into macro and gives you a lot of micro potential and a lot of potential damage to be done. The 2 Hellions will go out into the center here. It's just a very fast impact. Wow, so Maru not messing around at all. Never mind any of that aggression, but there's the Roach roaring, so Dark will indeed get aggressive, and Maru might find himself actually wishing that he'd started up some Cloaked Banshees instead. What he will have is a super fast stim, and that obviously gives you, if you can get stim up to fight against the Roaches, then that's actually really good for you. He only builds 4 Hellions as well, which actually also means he gets onto other production much faster, and that's going to be a major help too. So I actually kind of like it. This usually 39 drone all in from Dark. As the Roach run finishes up, unless he feels, I mean, it's just such an early Roach run. There's no way it's just like, oh, I need some safety Roaches. Yeah, he's going to be supply blocked though, so he needs these Overlords to finish up so he can get the rest of the Roaches on the way. He has the money, he's got the lava. So yeah, Dark has been slowed down by his own macro error. And that's kind of huge, right? Because now 3 Roaches are going to be so much further ahead of the rest. And I guess those Roaches can take the lead and take point and morph into Ravagers. And that's what they will do. They'll morph into Ravagers. So maybe it is still actually pretty well timed out from Dark, all said and done. As the Hellions, did they see the Ravager there? I'm not 100% sure. I think he did. And he starts a bunker up now. I think he did. I think he went just close enough to see the Ravager morphing. Now these Hellions and the Reaper are going to pull back. And yeah, they're just going to... Well, actually, now they're going to sit here. And they're going to see these Ravagers. I don't see 2 Ravagers. I feel like you can almost fight them. Obviously, when the Lings start getting here and other Roaches and stuff, maybe not so much. The Vikings see the rest of this, so now you know just how much is coming your way. And Maru having to get into defensive mode. I mean, that's what that bunker is for. He does indeed have stim. He's got a siege tank on the high ground as well. Oh my god, he's going to stim early. He's going to chase these Ravagers. He gets one to start. The Lings on their own won't really add much to this. The Roaches are, I think, the scariest part that just aren't here yet. Once the Roaches arrive, I mean, they're all going to be Ravagers. So it's a lot of Ravagers, but then there's not really any tanking in this army against, you know, stimmed Marines. Here we go. Dark going to try and make the bust through the natural corrosive files onto the siege tank. It will not last very long. But honestly, I think everything else will hold fairly okay. Still a few Ravagers here to worry about, though. Maru calls down supply to try and get on supply block, keep his production going. He will lose his +1 attack upgrade. He had shown he built 1 engineering bay. It was actually looking to be pretty aggressive on the 2 bases. Obviously, very late 3cc, all things considered. Which obviously in this scenario actually helps him out holding this attack, because it means he built into all of these extra racks before that 3rd base. So this obviously becomes way more of kind of like a 2-base all-in initially. But yeah, now starting up the 3rd, he does attack the rocks in the backline, mistake, but he's holding the bunker. He kept the engineering bay alive. I mean, that's a big extra benefit as well. If you can keep this engineering bay alive, the difference that makes is huge, because actually just having +1 attack will be the upgrade advantage, and the upgrade advantage could go a long way. Dark accidentally rallying his overlords across the map into this Viking, and Maru is able to take down overlords because of it as well, and that's going to put Dark into an even deeper supply block. I mean, that's just one of the overlords. Another one, and he's even further supply block. Maru gets 2 medevacs, goes straight across the map, wastes no time at all. Bit of healing, picks up those Marines, and goes to deal some damage. Now, Dark did preserve the Ravagers, and keeping the Ravagers alive, it means he still has an army out on the ground that he doesn't have to replace as quickly or as soon. For the most part, this should be good for Maru. He's put himself into a very good position. He's put himself into what I would call the driver's seat. As you see these Marines unloading into the main base. And going straight through. A couple of drones already have to pull away, going straight for the spawning pool. Spawning pool is going to go down. That's actually huge. This is really bad if Maru decides to just attack. I mean, I guess he's got a Roach on, so he can build Roaches. But then you can only build Roaches, and you're building Roaches against siege tanks. And again, a very powerful push where the +1 attack is done, and that's also huge as well. Upgrade advantage for Marines, just the attack upgrade against Roaches. The difference that makes, they just get shredded. As Maru will move that 3rd CC out now, so this really was a game that, well, Maru was actually kind of well set up for in the end, as we see some creep tumors going down. Kind of like it, right? He's like looking to be very aggressive on 2 bases on this very small map. Definitely playing to the map, and it's, you know, the strength that this Terran can find on the map like this. Man, Zergling's just kind of running into this haphazardly, and obviously that's a choke point, so that ain't pretty. Roaches actually got into a bit of a weird spot there as well, where they were actually in range of the tanks. As you do see, the tanks all up on the high ground. I mean, at this point, Maru just kind of stims in one direction. He kind of kites towards half the army, making the rest of the army have to keep on chasing. And of course, Dark can't really venture forward to chase at all. If he tries to chase, Maru's just going to be like, well, what, you know, you're chasing into my siege tank fire, so, you know, good luck and have fun with that. And a few extra creep tumors will be going down. The Roach now ravages out the right-hand side, pushing damage wherever possible. The siege tank shot already firing up, and let's see how tanks can earn siege, and Maru's going to start heading back home. He just finished up 1-1. He's going to turn back around as units try and come up this ramp. I mean, that's just, you know, a choke point that Maru uses to his advantage. Man, sick play from Maru, right? Saving this engineering bay was never going to be easy. And, you know, just really controlled. You know, never really got hit by corrosive bars more than he needed to. And then obviously some counter pressure forces a lot of units, and Dark now is just like, yep. Nidus Network, we're going to try and all in from this, boys, because what else is he... I mean, yeah, what else is he really meant to do? He's not in a position to play this out any differently. As our Roaches and our Ravagers will go up the top side. A few extra tanks will continue to siege. A bunch of Marines here have to load up. The Roach Ravager army still looking to push to the natural expansion. So supply depot sent up. Corrosive Files, medevac not there in time to realistically save that tank. Nidus is going to go in the main, so that's going to be Maru's... Yeah, this is going to be a test of if Maru can look at the minimap. And guys, don't want to shock you, but Maru can indeed look at the minimap. He spots it immediately into the main, and that's going to be unsuccessful. Nidus and Dark's options are running out at the moment, and they are running out fast as Maru is even repositioning the tanks all the time based on where Dark is running. He's only got a couple tanks here, right? I mean, obviously corrosive files are dangerous against those. Next Nidus just goes at the front so Dark can obviously just reinforce this army without having to run everything across the map. So it's a little bit faster there. Yeah, there's just so much bio that I don't even know how much the tank support really matters at this stage, right? You know, bio matches up against these roaches kind of bad in lower numbers, but as soon as you get to higher numbers, it's not even a competition. And this is a fight without the tanks even really being a part of this, as the bio just pushes on through. All the roaches are going to go down. GG is called. And we have a series on our hands as Maru ties us up 1-1 on Submarine to take us to a Game 3 and guarantee us at least 4 map. Ice and Chrome, big map, might be a fun play time, or a fun time to play on, or a fun map to play on for Dark. As I ruined the intro, he's our red Zerg in the bottom left. I was just saying this between the games, but for me, expecting some battle mech here from Maru at Blue Terran because the map is so big. I just feel like it's too big to push around on with bio, and it's too big to really even try and use the mobility on with bio. I kind of feel like the mech can work a bit better, but you've also seen mech being dismantled by a good Mutalisk counter more recently, so then, you know, that's then again something else to worry about, basically. So, it's a tough one. Well, we're finally on the way in the main base. Going to see this racks building up. The hatchery from Dark on the natural expansion already, as Overlords are going to be moving out onto the map. Now we're not going to proxy racks or anything. I know Innovation has been proxy racks a little bit on this map every now and again. So we've seen a couple of proxies from our boy Inno. But Innovation also played a really sick battle mech game on this map too. I can't quite think who he actually played against. Was that actually... No, you know what? That was against Dark. I actually casted that as a YouTube exclusive. Oh, I actually did I did it on Twitch, right? I did cast it on the stream and I uploaded it for YouTube. Yeah, so there was actually Innovation versus Dark that happened on this map, and Dark did lose that game against the battle mech. So that's maybe that's what's kind of tainted my mind into thinking maybe Maru should rock a little bit of battle mech here and you know, make some use of that. As this SEV of Maru heads down to the bottom left, hatchery will finish up on the natural expansion. A couple of queens on the way out for Zerglings are in production. I'm just going to be seeing the SEV of Maru just happy that's a hatchery first, right? You know, that's what you're really checking for here in these early stages. As the Reaper comes across the map and then the factory will begin. What does Maru have in store for us? Is there a chance to maybe, you know, throw out something a little bit cheeky, like a second factory and a blue flame build? Maybe. As you do see, our Reaper is coming across. Lings doing a bit of damage. Lings, Queen at the front, pushing the Reaper back again just that little bit, and obviously that's the typical dance. Again, Dark gets the third hatchery down without any real issues. You know, like, he gets this down, it's not really a problem at all. You know, Maru not really even too eager to I mean, it does even... I kind of want to say, does he know? And then it's Maru. Like, I feel like he should always know, but Dark did, again, just slip that drone away. It happened in the last game as well. Just surprised to see Maru didn't check at all, unless he actually just saw, like, the drone just slipping away. He's like, oh, I'll never catch that and actually block it in time. Reaper tries to hop up into the main base. Lings and Queen get there to turn it back around. There's our starport going to be finishing shortly with the third CC of Maru in the main base going to be finished up soon. Again, circling speed of Dark is going to be about halfway done for the moment. Our third hatchery is finished, and Dark's going to drop a pretty early Roach horn once again. Tech lab on the starport and on the racks. Starport and racks building a tech lab. It's a little bit unorthodox as well. Usually you wouldn't need both tech labs so early in the game. But obviously then he wants two, so it definitely feels like this should be a Banshee in cloak. Unless he wants to go Banshee Stim. And he doesn't go Cloak. Yeah. So there's one thing that makes sense, right? You just go Cloakless Banshee. And then the Banshee is just going to act as a point of defense. And you just get into bio quickly. I guess that's the only thing that really makes sense of the double tech lab. And of course, that's basically what we see. So let's see the Banshee on the way. And I mean, the Banshee's going to be great. Going to help you a lot against these Roaches. Now, Dark 44 drones. It's not like super all in or anything here. He's also supply blocked himself again. So if anything, I think Dark's here just going to, have a little poke across the map. It may just be he wants to go Roaches to defend the Hellions on this map. Maybe he just feels like that's something he needs. Maybe he's just expecting Maru to get aggressive. This I was not expecting. A second Banshee off no cloak is very weird to me. I feel like when you build a second Banshee, then generally you do have cloak, because at that point it becomes a worthwhile investment if you got two Banshees. The one Banshee, it's like, okay, it's good defensively, you can still do a bit of harass. No, that's very interesting. Do you see our Overlord from Dark out over the right-hand side? A few Roaches kind of made a move across, but they won't do much. And the Banshee now going to come up and start chase them away. Gets one shot. It's a one shot. He's like, get out of here. And the Roach is like, okay, we will. Banshee's like, good. You've learned your lesson. This is when the Banshee gets fired for not actually, drilling the lesson home. You were meant to kill them. Send a message. It's like, I shot him once. It's like, it's not enough. These Roaches, they'll pretend. They'll do anything to get away. So yeah, they do just get away with that, as you see the Hellions and the Reaper continuing through into the center. So obviously this is Maru really coming across for the first time, as he'll just scan and take down a bunch of this creep spread already. So denying some of the creep here, and obviously that's where the Roaches might come into play a bit. Puts himself at the front. He's going to scan here too, so really taking down all the active Tumors. And Queen's not really in much of a position to do much about that. We have our two Banshees on the right side again, cloakless. And just going to be seeing all of these Hellions down the bottom side. A few Roaches and a Queen get there already. Banshee show up, but again, again, I don't think this would have made much of a difference. The time they got here, Lara's up, Overseer would have been available. Looks like we lost a couple of Hellions as the Banshees were just trying to fight there. This is nice, though. He's going to put some damage out and probably deny the fourth base. So yeah, actually these Banshees are putting in value. They're putting in work, and they're still around as well, as that Muta's on the way up. Now Dark did have Roach speed on the way, but he's going to get into a Bane Nest as well. So we'll see how much he actually wants to use the Roaches, and if he really does build that many more, because I can absolutely see a world here where he's just like, yeah, this is kind of enough for now. I don't need to build that much extra. And to the far left, as our melee upgrades start, of course, that's going to be the big advantage here for Maru, because now it's not just a faster lair and a Spire and Bane speed. Now it's Roaches into the lair, Spire and Bane speed first, so the melee upgrades are way behind, but Maru's armory is very late. And this was a thing on Eternal Empire too. He is very far ahead on upgrades on Eternal, and they really lost some speed. I'm not sure if it was because he just didn't start it, or start the upgrades, or if he didn't start the armory. I didn't notice that one at the time, but this time he absolutely forgets the armory, as he does go for a big push down the right. What can Maru do here? Still a few of his Hellions set up. He's obviously done a good job of the scans to get rid of some of this creep. I'm a bit afraid, because not even Baneling speed's ready for this, right? So you don't have upgrades, you don't have Bane speed. You do have Roach speed and some Roaches to help buffer the army, so the army is a bit stronger in that sense, but that's kind of it. I mean, these Banes morphed into the side. First corrosive piles, first tank doesn't even go down to those piles, man. These Banes are going to do nothing, and Maru is just going to win the game. Yeah, there's just no way about it, right? Queen's just going to get stimmed into. Dark does not have a way to hold this off. Across the map, the Mutas are here, and I mean, they're picking off a refinery. I mean, that's going to be a refinery for your fourth base. That is not a worthwhile trade, and a lot more Roaches in production. The thing is, again, Roaches are not really going to scale super well. I feel like any Roach you build now is kind of like, well, this is a sturdy unit that might help me survive, more so than oh yeah, this is really going to help me survive and then go into the next stage. Dark's not thinking about this next stage just yet, right? Dark is thinking about the here and now. And those Roaches up, and he falls down 20 supply. I mean, now reinforcements coming in, and well, Dark doesn't even entertain a fight here with Maru. That's GG, he's out of there. And that's going to be Maru taking the 2-1 advantage in the series. Match point for our red Terran in the bottom left-hand side. This is Maru. As in the bottom right, we got the blue Zerg from Dragon Phoenix Gaming. It's Dark. I will just say again, like, I really look back on those Roaches, and I just don't get what his goal was. Like, it's a big map, you make a few Roaches, but then you also try and go Aspire and Bane Nest, right? Like, I get it if you're gonna go Roaches, but then you can't, and then you can go maybe like Ling Bane Roach, but you can't add Aspire into that early on after not doing anything with the Roaches. Like, yeah, I don't know, like, it just, I mean, if it was attempting to fake Maru out, then it didn't work. I guess that's maybe what it is, right? Like, he's attempting to make Maru more defensive, but Maru had Banshees, he saw the Roaches early, he had the info, so, you know, then you go into the Bane Nest, then you go into the Spire, and, you know, at that point, it's just all so late, right? And that's what we saw. Everything was so late there. And that was kind of the cost, and that was kind of the, well, that was the kind of price you pay. It's SCV going for a big scout across the map, almost like he wants to proxy something. I mean, when was the last time you saw a proxy factory? He's trying to really scout around, but this SCV gets seen anyway. Yeah. I wonder what he was trying to do here. Really wonder what he was trying to do here to this bunker. Get set up on the front. Drones are going to pull in. The SCV going to pull off and just going to be seeing the drones continue to deal some good damage. He was just trying to get a bunker, yeah. Maybe trying to fake out the idea of a proxy racks, right? Is probably the idea, right? You kind of show up late, you fake the bunker, you force an overreaction. It's working. 3 drones. I mean, Maru Dark was like, hey, why the hell is your SCV coming from this direction at this time? That is 3 drones that get pulled to deal with this. 3 drones. And again, that's just a little bit of an eco advantage to Maru because of it. So, again, an interesting opener. You know, an interesting bit of fake pressure. A lot of mind games going on in this series, apparently, because it does feel like Dark was perhaps trying to mind game himself a little bit in that last game. And as you see the Reaper coming up, just going to see a few lings are going to get picked away at. And there's going to be seen our Reaper, just again taking a little bit of extra damage. Factory is going to be done in a few moments. The Brax looked like it wanted to go and kind of give high ground vision for a moment, but then he's like, wait a second, I need a reactor, and also his Overlord turned to see me, so it can't make any sense for his Overlord to be there. So I think that was Maru maybe figuring that out on the fly. As this game, yeah, 1 gas, 3 CC, so he's just going to go super macro heavy. And we'll drop a starport pretty early as well, though, but this can't really be much more than like a Viking or something like that. So Hellions, a Viking, and that's pretty much all you can afford off this. And then you can get Stim pretty soon after that. Because then you start getting double gas up, so you can kind of afford it, but shouldn't be anything more than that initially. At a stretch, it could be like a Liberator. Now he's going to float the racks forward, just in case the Overlord did get that. And it is around the time the Overlord would arrive if it was going there, but it's not there. It is actually down to the bottom side, so no Overlord kill for Maru. He'll send his racks back. What's it going to be on the starport? Looks like he's saving up the money, and he will just go for a Liberator, so... Nope, he's going to go for the Tech Lab. Fusion Core then? Usually if the starport builds its own... Oh, is he going to do the same again? Viking and double Tech Lab. So Cloakless Banshees and Stim. Cool. Right, okay. Just Maru kind of loving these Cloakless Banshees apparently, as we'll see. Dark going to get in. I think this is a pretty big scout. He's going to start the Cloak on the, you know, on the starport. But again, then that Tech Lab on the racks is useless. It doesn't really do anything. So we'll see if Dark can read into that. There is the cancel on the Cloak, and there's a switch into Stimpack instead. So again, just trying to deny information from Dark, trying to fake him out a little bit again. Very heavy, you know, a lot of mind games going on in the early stages of the game. Obviously, you want to play those mind games at this high level, otherwise your opponent is going to get into too comfortable of a position. You want to try and take any advantage you can. If you can force Dark to make some spores here when he maybe doesn't necessarily need spores for detection, brilliant. You know, 10 out of 10. That's just what you want. Spire is already building from Dark, so this time he's just going into that fast lair straight to the Spire. Obviously, the Baneling Nest is missing, right? So no Bane Nest just yet for that Bane speed. I wonder, I don't know how well this build really works out for Dark against something that is just this super fast Stim. I always feel as though these mutas kind of end up against like a faster Stim like this, and then you're like, oh my goodness, like all of a sudden you've got so many Marines, you can break out, you can push me when my mutas are popping. I feel like there's always just so many options there for the Terran. Obviously, especially now that this isn't a cloak Banshee. And it was also only one Banshee too, so there's a little bit less commitment here for Maru than it was last time. As he comes in, he takes a couple shots, he'll just get out. Hellions at the front, and as well, Maru's been playing a pretty low Hellion count all series long. It's the second time we've seen him on about 4 Hellions instead of going up to like 6 or 8. So really kind of playing a much lower Hellion count, and it's funny because we've actually seen a lot more kind of 8 Hellion players. I mean, he went 8 Hellions last game on Ice and Chrome, right? But we've actually seen 8 Hellions be more popular lately, which was actually, 6 was like the gold standard, and 8 every now and then was a bit more aggressive. We've seen a lot more 8 Hellion openers with the creep spread change, but now Maru's just cracking out 4 Hellions each game. Is that a little bit different, and he will just pick off a few of these creep tumors here. Might just be because of this, right? With the scan, you can, with 4 Hellions and a Reaper, take down a good amount of creep in that one scan now that the creep tumors are light. That's definitely something to look at. Also see a couple of barracks are going to be going down, and the Banshee from Maru are going to be out across the map. A couple of medevacs will continue over, and they are going to look for an unload and to start picking away at this Overlord. So Overlord is going to fall. As our Marines will continue through the south, going to step in. A couple of creep tumors already going down, as we do see the meters flying through and getting a couple of SCVs already. So the meters showing up, and Maru not really that well prepared. Didn't even have turrets started or anything like that. Not enough Marines here. And it's actually really bad. He's losing all of these structures that are building, his extra racks. He's getting his armory up. I mean, he's looking to go to 8 racks and really just end the game on a big 8-1-1 push. 8 racks, 1 factory, consistently producing tanks. He hit with 2-2. This time it was meant to be armory on time and everything, but yeah, on top of all of that being delayed, now you're also going to be losing 11 SCVs mining on the gold base, and that's going to severely weaken your big push that's, meant to be doing so much here. And if you lose a siege tank on top of it all, well, even worse for you. So yeah, this is really, really bad for Maru. He will stim once again, and these mutas already taking control of the game. Maru letting Dark do way too much here. You can't let him do that much. I think it was too much in the first place. Now to take even more damage. Maru definitely going to be hurting a little bit off that. The idea of this 8 racks is that generally you can push across, you get to here, and you kind of get to push into this position here, and that doesn't seem like it's anywhere important, but it's between the 3rd and the natural. So if you get here, you obviously then get an option to start, just splitting a few units off into the natural, and then you can basically force a fight. And the Zerg has to come down ramps to fight you, so that's what helps to make this push so powerful. But yeah, I feel like with the, the more damage that Dark does, the weaker this attack's going to be, and the tougher it's going to be for Maru to really make this work out. Now, the 2-2 upgrade delay really gives Dark less time. He has to fight with less upgrades. That's obviously huge. Killing the siege tank takes away a lot of the splash damage. It's meant to help out against the banelings. As you see a good chunk of Marines and medevacs up to the top side. Now mutas will make their way to even find a little bit more. Still just hunting, right? And that's the thing with Mutalisk. You've just always got to be active with them. You've got to be consistently looking for damage. Although these Marines intercept, and he gets a couple. It's a nice catch from Maru there. Able to find a couple of these mutas and really able to slow those down. I think anything you can do right now as Maru to kind of shut down any mutas or anything is going to be a big net positive. Dark just keeps on expanding 5th base. 87 drones already on the map. Maru's going to be pushing soon, pushing properly. 2-2's halfway done. Usually you push it a little bit before 2-2 is done, just so you can start getting in position for the 2-2 being completed. As medevacs run away over to the left-hand side, meters are going to fly on in. Already having these Marines and a few Hellbats here, as you do see the Lings and the Banes and the Queens all setting up in the center. Dark is out down on the bottom side of the map, with those Mutalisks flying across. I'm gonna go probably into the main base here in just a few moments' time. He's trying to set up, see what they can do as they come back around. A couple of missile turrets are gonna get cleaned out already. I mean, this is obviously Maru's big push. The Muta's trying to deal some counter damage. This is the thing with this push. You can actually get back to the gold base to defend pretty quickly and then rally back to the front, but Dark's doing a really good job of jumping on this, but Maru's not looking because he is paying attention back on the other side. He doesn't even have all of his tanks sieged up. And the great thing about the Mutas on this map is they always have an exit path. They can always just go to the south side of the map, and instantly you're going to find yourself in a position where Maru is just not going to be able to chase those Mutas down. Maru's time is ticking away before 2-2 is done for Dark, and he evens up those upgrades. 85 drones. He's got 2k minerals in the bank. He's got 34 lava, so Maru's going to have to win 2 fights. He's going to have to win fight 1, and then the remax. And that's just pretty much a guarantee. There's nothing that's going to stop Dark doing that. As here we go, Dark from the right and the top. In the end, Maru pulls back to basically make it from one direction. The mutas are very late to this fight. The tanks do a lot. It's a really good fight for Maru. He doesn't really lose any of his marines. And Dark is rebuilding 100 Zerglings, so there goes so much of his bank. Okay, well, that's a big victory for Maru. I mean, the mutas just weren't part of this fight or anything. Can Maru overwhelm now? The baneling count is still very high, don't get me wrong. 18 just morphed in. There's about 30 on the map. 16 more building. If you can force some of these banes to be used before the reinforcing banes show up, that would be massive as well, as a couple of queens trail their way down that ramp and get lost out on. Now you're putting some pressure on the natural, and this is what I was talking about. Take this position here. You can trail some units up into the natural expansion. The hatchery taking a lot of damage. Here we go. Big stim on the marines. Mutas from the backside as well, as this time Dark is going to have a much better cleanup, and it will be a cleanup as Maru drops below 100 supply. Not enough left, as I think those mutas really did too much, and Maru was not going to fight back from that, truly. And then the first fight definitely looked like maybe Dark could find a way back in, but no. Not allowed. Not happening. As Lings, Banes, and Mutas fly and roll and run into this third base gold. And that's going to be GG. Maru is going to end up losing a game 4, and we get to a game number 5. How very exciting is that? Bottom left-hand side, our blue Zerg player, this from Dragon Phoenix Gaming, is Dark. On Pillars of Gold for our final map. As in the top right, our red Terran is Maru, of course, big game. Win this series, you get an invite into the ESL Pro Tour Summer Finals. And the season finals is kind of a big deal. $57,000 prize pool. First place, $12,500. And I don't think anyone would doubt that either Maru or Dark would be a big contender for first place. There's a lot on the line here. And again, these guys are playing each other because they both did fall in the GSL round of 8. And that's got to be crazy, right? Like, when was the last time Maru and Dark didn't make GSL round of 4? Or Maru or Dark didn't make a GSL round of 4? I feel like that's actually, like, been a long time, right? Like, this must be the first time in a while, because obviously they were both in the round of 4 at the end of 2019. I remember that much. I remember they were both in... Obviously, Dark won the other 2 GSL seasons. Dark won that second GSL season last year. Maru won the first one. That was the end of Maru's few wins in a row. So this is actually the first GSL season in a long time that Maru or Dark weren't in the round of 4. Or Maru and Dark a lot of the time as well, because they're both just that good. And then they have to play a play-in match against each other. And they're both probably looking at each other like, really? This was the season we decided to screw up GSL? Alrighty, well. Just going to be seeing the SCV of Maru going to head on down to the bottom side. And just going to be seeing how Reaper is the opening. Command center already setting up on the natural expansion. As the hatchery finishes from Dark, the SCV of Maru going to go back out into the middle of the map. And Reaper just setting up as well. So Reaper coming through. A couple of queens going to be continuing to build. Factory in the main base. Command center is about halfway along. As that Overlord of Dark will be able to come to the top and try to see what's happening. Ling's going to go in after this Reaper. Reaper's going to get pushed away and just going to be seen as Zergling's able to keep fighting this Reaper right now. So Reaper taking some damage. Wow, Reaper took a lot of damage there. That means you get a creep tumor down for free here as Dark. Obviously not quite at 25 energy, but yeah, Reaper does not have the health. Go back. Don't go too soon, Maru. Creep tumor will get up, so creep tumor will be up and running with the factory swapping over to the reactor. Starport is already building in the main base as well. And there is the factory to the reactor. Going to get a couple of those Hellions already starting up. Let's see how many Hellions he goes up to this time, right? Because obviously he's been, like I just said, he's definitely had a good mix of like 4 to 8 Hellions. Really showing us a few different builds as we've gone through this series, so yeah. Starport going to finish up. Tech Lab is done the racks, and we get the idea of what swapperoos we're going to have. It's a Viking, so we're going to see a faster stim again. And I wonder if Maru kind of goes back to, as this is a fast Roach run again from Dark. Is this going to be like a repeat of Submarine? Because right now it is. Faster stim. He actually went, he went 4 Hellions, swapped off, was going to build racks early before the 3rd CC. And it's so unfortunate for Dark because he's going to Roach all in again. And it's exactly what happened on Submarine. Because Maru was essentially opening 2 bases, which is so rare to see, like no 3rd CC at all. Like 3rd CC usually goes down about now, which is what the Viking helps you to deny vision of, right? You get rid of this Overlord and then you don't get that Scout as Dark. And Dark had 6 more drones, so maybe he goes a little step further. Maybe he does have more of a macro plan, but there's the first Roaches. Nah, I don't. 43 drones. It's definitely a little bit higher than Dark was on last time. I think it was on like 41-ish, but only by a couple. Maru already building a tank. This is designed to be a 2-base attack. That's, you know, hence the single engineering bay. You know, rather than double engineering bay, hence the lack of a 3rd base. Okay, Dark is building more Overlords. He also added on a couple of extra drones, which kind of says to me, I mean, he's very supply blocked. He's going to build this Roach. It makes it look like an all-in again. Morphs in the Ravager. He's really trying to last idea, but he's also making 7 Overlords. I don't know so much if he's trying to fake Maru out versus the fact that actually he was genuinely supply blocked and he changed his mind because he was so heavily supply blocked. Alright, well. Gonna be seeing the 2 Hellions coming through. Setting up for the moment, just gonna be coming down to the bottom side. +1 attack. Combat shields getting set to go live from Dark on the way in the main base. And yeah, the thing is, Maru didn't overcommit to the defense either, right? Like, bunker cancelled now already. Tanks are up. He's going to be able to continue with this 2-base opener. Now, I feel like 2-base against Roaches, though. Roaches definitely do help there. That sturdier army, right? So compared to trying to, you know, use like a Ling Bane comp to defend this, which would be... It's definitely difficult to defend this, something like this with a Ling Bane army, right? Because it is just a bit more fluctuating. It's a bit tough to consistently get those units out. You can't miss an inject. They just don't trade as well. But again, in lower numbers, Roach Ravager can do okay. So that was just an interesting attack because it's not something you usually see. +1 combat shield will be done soon. 2 tanks out and just kind of hanging back. There is a 3rd CC behind this, exactly what Maru did on Submarine. Got that 3rd CC set up while the attack was happening, basically. This time, obviously, no attack, so he gets it set up. Again, similar time. Maru supply blocked, waiting for some depots to finish. As Hellions keeping a lot of attention to the right-hand side, dropping the main. Roach is already in position, so Dark is very well prepared. Maru will not find damage here. Marines all unloading and just going to be seeing the rest of our Hellions out to the far right side. Battlecruiser team is already going down as well. Going to find one more active tumor actually still spreading up here, so... Again, controlling the creep already, and that's obviously one of the things that this army should be very good at. Let's see what the reinforcement push does. As we have the Hellions, they've been consistently trying to dive into mineral lines. This one specifically for some time now, and you'll get a couple of drones, but not really that many, and it doesn't really pull Roach Ravager out of position because they were already here. And there's still Roaches and Ravagers to defend on the left side as well. Marines load up into Medivacs. Maru gonna move back to the middle of the map. Well, +1 armor on the way. Honestly, this attack took a lot longer to move out onto the map than I thought it would. I really thought he'd try and go a bit sooner. I mean, now he's actually going to be down on upgrades, where before he was up 1-0 against 0-0. Now he's going to be down the carapace or the armor upgrade, right? So that's a slight concern. One thing that might go well for Maru is if Dark just doesn't realize there's more of this army over here, and then he loses this chunk of Roach Ravager. Because he still has Roach Ravager over here, expecting maybe a bit more multi-prong, especially expecting more drops. Tank sieging. Dark sees it immediately and he runs away. No defending that 4th base, so that's going to be a cancel. As Maru now has built up to 3 bases, so again has got that down. The thing is, Dark is still just building Roach Ravager with 1-1 done. Yeah, 65 workers. It's kind of that point where you can just hit it like a big 1-1 Roach Ravager time, but that usually works against a Terran who's just starting to really get the bio numbers pumping, whereas obviously in this game, Maru's had those numbers, you know, setting up from a much earlier stage, so I'm not sure if like the big 1-1 maxed out Roach timing gonna do enough here. Although Maru out of position, the unit's now moving across the map. He does defend this little bit of damage here, but then the rest of the units showing up, and now Maru has to make a decision. He obviously has so many units here, he could just set up a continued attack. Now the tanks are kind of deciding what they want to do. They start to head home. He's already lifted up the third base. What's he got at home? Does he have any other siege tanks? 2 tanks in this these medevacs here, so it looks like they were looking to find a position. Well, Dark just has really not a lot at home. Oh my god, that's an Overlord farm if I've ever seen one. If he kills all those Overlords, well, I actually think he doesn't really have the time to, right? He has to focus on the Roaches. Tanks are not going to siege either. He wants to keep this army mobile as he kills the Roach Roaring. That was the Roach Roaring, right? I'm not going crazy. Maybe I am. I'm pressing all the wrong buttons. I don't actually know how to bring up... Oh, it's all in this tab, right? Sorry, different overlay to usual. Roach Roaring was going down. Yeah, just double checking. I was just wondering because obviously I thought it was going to be all in initially, so it was suddenly weird to me that the Roach Roaring is in the front and easily seen. Well, these Roaches are just going to run for this. The third base has to lift up. The Marauders are doing quite a lot of damage here as well. I mean, that's one thing for Maru too. He's been building Marauders from an early stage, so he does have them to help against the Roaches. I mean, Maru's obviously down a lot of supply, but that's kind of what these fights look like usually when it's so Roach Ravager heavy. Obviously, as those Roaches get traded out, they won't trade super well against a maximum, a higher supply Terran player. And against those siege tanks, and that's where you'll start to see the army supplies getting closer together. Dark will move away from Roaches into Banelings as an addition and Lings. That's a nice catch, right? Because these Roaches just really don't seem like they have any interest in turning around to actually fight this. So Maru gets a few Roach kills, and actually now Dark does make the turn. But yeah, the Roach is actually taking a lot of heat. Is just, I mean, look at this. So many of them are very low HP. Like, so many of them are super low health at the moment. I have to turn back away to the left-hand side. So our medevacs load up once more, and Maru will start to head out to the far left side. Lings, Roaches, Ravagers all joined up together here on the left. As we're going to be seeing our hive continuing from Dark in the main base. Our bio will end up on the bottom right, and we'll go straight in after this hatchery. So he gets that hatchery already. Able to take that down. Once again, our bio just going to come through, and a couple of creep teamers already being picked away at. Lings fallen as well as our Ravagers and our Roaches trying to move up this ramp. We've got medevacs into the main. Obviously, one of the big weaknesses of Dark's army right now is there's no drop defense. His drop defense is, I mean, you can see by the massive spore crawlers. This is like a Terran player playing TvT, massing up missile turrets. This is how little drop defense Dark has. He has to build like a ton of spores here to realistically defend against this. As you see the bio army of Maru pulling back a little bit. Some Lings and some Roaches and some Ravagers all going down. The rest of these tanks are all setting up as well. As you do see Dark still coming through the center, trying to set up, pushing through. Tanks will siege. Hatchery will get a kill on the right side, and now at the same time you've got a Hatchery taking a lot of damage on the left side. Maru might be about to put Dark onto 3 bases here. Big drop play in the end as Dark is across the map with Roaches, but these few Marauders are just defending. Obviously, horrible position for the Roaches, choked up against this CC. Don't know how you get choked up that badly, that's crazy. But yeah, the Marauders just trade so well against Roaches. And that's the thing as well, just having this many Marauders from the start has really limited what Dark can do. Again, Dark now, Ling's on the way, starting to make that switch into Ling Bane to support the Roaches and the Ravagers, making this a little bit different. Bit more bio going to stem through it. I mean, again, and the other thing is he's actually really doing a great job of denying creep spread, right? This entire left side has never really been creeped up. The right side has some good creep on it, but it doesn't go too far back as we do see Dark and well, take a fight. The Infestors actually get some big fungal growths to help with the Banelings flashing in. He had just a couple of Infestors on as he took the Infestation Pit to go up to Hive, and they actually hit some big shots there. Has the Vipers as well to hit Blinding Clouds. That's the one thing you got to say about Dark's army. He's done a great job of improving it to a pretty sizable point. The Blinding Cloud actually misses one of the siege tanks. He'll take the tanks down pretty quick anyway as Maru splits away. Marauders still pushing down to the bottom side. This is just Lings and Roaches and Ravagers at the moment. The Banes aren't currently morphed. There's like 2 Banelings in the army as it stands. Now this Fungal Growth is going to land on everything. The burrow play. Oh my god. Everything gets caught. Finally it fades. You can jump into the medevacs and retreat, but at the moment the fungal growths have been MVPs. What heroes those Infestors are, because I actually think that turns that fight from Dark into something winnable and actually something that he really crushed rather than something which was going to be very, very tough for him to handle. Bio army of Maru comes around the right side. The rest of this army splits away, some of it out up to the top. A few lings to the far left as well as this hatchery continues to build. So that's going to be base number 5 and 6 now expanding. So Dark, that win on that fight gives him a huge opportunity. And Maru just not prepared against the few infestors. I mean, it's a big cost from Dark, but he got a couple of them out. He made it work, and he got a massive amount of value out of it. Pushing in, just going to see straight up a hatchery already going down. A few Banes rolling here for some SCVs. We do have a couple of drones caught, so at least Maru gets rid of one of these bases. As the right side is obviously the one as well, which has better creep on it too, so I don't think Maru is really too bothered that that's the one he ends up killing here. He's going to get this base as well. Maru is going... It's like Maru activated his pult mode in TVP, right? Like, Pult, the Nexus sniper, and now Maru is the hatchery sniper, just dropping and stimming at bases that you're like, surely this unit's there to defend. Nope. +3 attack Marauders kill hatcheries pretty quickly as Maru will find himself maxed once more. The big thing here is obviously now he's a bit more aware of A, infestors, and B, burrowed infestors, so you know that that's maybe a problem to be, thinking about. And knowing about that obviously gives you a bit of a better idea as, okay, maybe I should deal with that. Does he realize that these are burrowing around the ground? You can see them. That little burrowed animation. It's hard to see, but it's not impossible as the infestor shows up. Fungal was a moment too late to save the rest of those Marauders. Liberator sieging up for quite a few drones, though, and obviously just killing off mining time. Now Maru with a big army in the bottom right. Adding on a lot more Widow Mines. Now that he's moved away from Roach Ravager, he's decided to move away from the stationary, slow-moving, slow-sieging tanks to the much faster burrowing Widow Mines now that they have drilling claws as well. And they should help a lot more against the Ling Bane army. That splash should work a lot better for him as he honestly wins out this fight in the bottom right. And, well, now Ultra's on the way from Dark. Now, the first few Ultras I'm not too worried about here because Maru is already on Marauders. Ultras are much scarier if you're playing against a Terran who's been stuck on Marine Mine or something, or Marine Mine Medevac, and hasn't been building any Marauders. But Maru has the Marauders to fight Ultras at the start. He has relocated his main base to this right-hand side as a 5th. Just doesn't have what it takes to build a CC, though, just yet. He will have that now. That's a good fight for him. The Widow Mines are doing a lot as he pulls away. Marauders doing well there. Still holding his high ground. Do we have any infestors? I mean, it feels like everything's pumped up at the moment. That parasitic bomb is huge. So many of these parasitic bombs doing so much damage. Plus the fact that there was also the corrosive bars that connected meant that was a very deadly set of parasitic bombs. A lot of medevacs going down. This Ultra would rather give up the hatchery than itself. And in the end, it felt as though Maru would get both, and he does get both. The Widow Mines making that happen. Here come the infestors. They're going to get blown up by Widow Mines, though. And suddenly you lose the efficiency of those infestors as now they finally go down. Widow Mines still helping Maru to retreat away with these Marauders, playing a beautiful game at the moment. Again, where it looked like he was honestly in a bit of trouble, but he's making it work out. The bio continues down this bottom side. An extractor is found. Drones are falling. I mean, he's just been consistently denying bases, and that's got to be one of the reasons he's still somewhat in this. As these Ultras are just not doing their job. I mean, it's just not good enough against these Marauders. You can actually just kill them, and that's the thing. These Ultras... this one actually does survive, but yeah, these Ultras, this one dies. The Ultra's just not doing really anything to actually help the army here, and Dark has just not found an opportunity to harass or counter onto this base at all. Finally, a few Lings making their way over, but Maru getting access to that 5th base economy and taking an eco advantage from this. That's absolutely massive as Zergling's going down all over the place. Bio, the bottom left. Ultra already going down. A couple of corrosive bars to take down the Widow Mines, but now both Ultras have fallen. And that's just such an expense. I mean, this Viper is looking for water. Parasitic bomb, it goes down as well. And there's just no winning at the moment for Dark. Nothing's working out. Maru's about to start taking the top left side of the map behind all of this. And Maru's already on the bottom. Oh, sorry, that's changelings. I thought he was already on the bottom right with another drop, but no. The next army is moving out now, though. Maru just multitasked his way to a victory in this one. You've got to say it, right? I liked where he was at early. The Infestors and the Fungals, and that fight definitely went Dark's way. And then Maru's multitasking has just been incredible. And he really just has picked off base after base after base. He's killed off 4 hatcheries this game. Obviously cancelled a few of them. Zergling's running in, but siege tank reinforcements are here, so you're not going to catch anything off guard. There's just no splash in this army anymore. There's no Banes. There's an Ultra that's just going to get kited against. Like, the Lings alone, the Lings are doing okay because it's so Marauder heavy. But the fact it's so Marauder heavy kind of makes it okay to trade out the hatcheries and all the rest of it, right? So there's benefits to that. Now the Ling is just going to go down. Dark's going to get broken on the left side as well. Maru's maxed out. Dark's at 120 supply, and that will do it as Maru takes game number 5. Wraps up this series, and he will qualify for the DreamHack Summit Masters season finals, part of the ESL Pro Tour. If you enjoyed this and you're watching this on YouTube, obviously don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and thanks so much for watching as we wrap this one up. An epic best of 5 between Maru and Dark.